Let's expand the simple synth voice patch we created in a previous video. First, we disconnect the MIDI to CV module because we now want the synth to play itself automatically, without the need for manual keyboard input. Instead of the gate signal from the MIDI to CV module, I patch a square wave LFO into the ADSR's gate input. Now the envelope triggers at the LFO's frequency. Next, we need a pitch CV signal to let the VCO play melodies. To get a random voltage every time the ADSR is triggered, we use a sample and hold module. The sample and hold module receives a constantly changing sample signal and a trigger signal. Whenever the trigger pulse goes high, the module will hold the current voltage level at the sample signal input until the next pulse goes high. Let's use a noise source for the sample signal. Noise is just a quickly changing random voltage. The trigger signal will be our square wave LFO, which also triggers the ADSR. To create a copy of the LFO signal, we use a passive multiple. The output of the sample and hold module will go into the 1 volt per octave input of the VCO. Okay, that's great, but the range of pitches from the VCO is very high because the range of the noise CV levels is also very wide. Let's reduce this by using an attenuator to decrease the maximum amplitude and thus the pitch range of our sample and hold output. Alright, now every time the square wave LFO is high, the ADSR envelope is triggered and the oscillator plays a new random pitch. Let's change this so that the pitch is held for 2 notes. We could do this with a second LFO running at half the speed of the first one, or, even easier and more precise, we can use a clock divider. We simply patch our copy of the LFO signal into it and use the division by 2 output for the sample and hold trigger input. Like this, the sample and hold is triggered only every other time that the ADSR is triggered. Now I'll adjust the LFO rate to make everything faster, and I'll play with the other sound parameters a bit, like the filter settings and the ADSR envelope. That's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more, and post your questions and comments underneath. See you next time.